welcome back. I'm glad to see Tim and Joe and Dave in. We're going to do, I think this is about our fourth or fifth time. What I want to talk about today is getting into the fact that I got my ass kicked for 2 days working with guys that are a lot younger than me, a lot stronger than me doing jiu-jitsu, and the importance of not letting yourself go as you get older. Because rolling against guys that are probably young enough to be your kid and just hammering you is very humbling and disheartening at the same time.
You need to get in the nursing home league.
Getting that.
And then you get them in a damn walker headlock, run over them with a damn wheelchair.
Well, I think it goes back to always pushing yourself. And that's what I always told Gavin, that he does pretty good in baseball, but he always, I don't think they see the to go any further. As long as they're better than their buddies, they forget there's kids across town, another state, and how they keep going. When they want to play high school ball or college level or even pros, whatever they're into, that it's just that you have to keep going. And everybody asks me, so, man, why do you train so much? Why do you train so much? And it's not to get in a fight, and it's not that I think I'm going to get in a fight when I train jiu-jitsu or training with others. But it only takes one fucking time.
Mm-hmm.
It only takes one time for somebody to get on you. You're like, boy, I really wish I'd trained a little bit more, because that guy's a lot stronger than I thought he was. Because I went against a guy that I'd never met, went against him Saturday. Looked at him, kind of an unassuming guy, about mid-20s. Next thing I know, man, it's like fighting off a bobcat. Then it turns out...
Same level as you? Or?
No, he's never done jiu-jitsu before.
Oh, really?
Oh, Jesus Christ, man.
He sells Girl Scout cookies.
Well, it turns out he's the head wrestling coach of the high school, and he's just out of college.
Yeah.
This is like his first year teaching. So he's at collegiate level shape, ability of wrestling.
Yeah, his endurance is probably through the roof.
It was all I could do, man. I was just hanging up. I had to just grab him and just hold on to him and flip him upside down. Once I got him on his back, I was good. Wrestlers don't like to be on their back. But it's like, Jesus Christ, man, this guy's strong. I mean, literally, when he grabbed me, when he grabbed me by the wrist, I was like, ooh, I got a hold of a real one here.
This is not good.
It's not good. So it's a whole nother thing. And thank God I trained as much as I do, or it would have been a really, really bad day.
Yeah.
It was already a rough day, but it would have been a really bad day.
So would you say you won, or?
I bested.
Yeah.
But I don't like to say won. I had the better end of the deal when it was all said and done. But
is he going to be a regular there? You going to
yeah,
have to fight this?
Payback's a bitch.
That's what I'm saying. That's the scary part, is when you go, okay, and I hate to use it as just jiu-jitsu, but I like to say grappling, because grappling encompasses all kinds of, wrestling, grappling, sambo, jiu-jitsu, whatever. He is a good grappler. He's not what you would consider a newbie, because he's got a great background. But when he starts learning what we're doing in this aspect, it's going to be an extremely bad day for me, because he's just going to pick it up a lot faster than your average guy. But all that to be said, we're getting into the conversation, is I was talking to one of the coaches, the guy that was teaching that day, and it's like iron shapes iron, and if you don't push yourself against the best guys that you can go against in whatever you're doing, whether it's grappling, whether it's boxing, whether it's football, baseball, stuff like that, and Tim, you and I had the conversation about the strength and conditioning coach at Alabama.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't push them and push them and push them to where they just...
You got to try to break them.
Yeah, you got to make it to where practice is harder than any kind of competitive end of it.
And then you get in the game, it's nothing.
Right. And
That's it.
And I wanted to relate that to our conversation about, competing in a grappling match versus on the football field. And I think that's why Alabama does, at their level they get. Because
if you notice, Alabama, when it gets in the third or fourth quarter, it's like, hell, they get stronger. It's like everybody else is getting weak, and they just get stronger. And you think right off the bat, they must be putting new guys in. But it's the same guys, same numbers out there. And then you look and you go, bastards just get better.
Well, the other guys get fatigued.
Absolutely.
The other team, they don't have that gas tank. And that's what I was talking to the guy that I'm training under. One of the guys I trained at 2 different places. And the guy I was training under this weekend, it's like, and I told him, I said, dude, I got to get a better gas tank, man. I got to fill this thing up, because It's not my strength. It's not my technique. It's just that when this cat over here, I'm 44, and this cat over here is about 25, and in shape, and he's got a gas tank to go for days. It's not that he necessarily beats me with strength or technique, but he can just go longer than me, and so that's
it becomes
answer.
mental at that point, because you're 44 years old and he's got you down in a headlock. And your body's going, fuck this. I'm 44 years old, man. Let's go back on the couch and get some potato chips. Piss on this.
I don't think Chris is quite saying that.
But your mind has to override that.
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
So if he can play the chess well enough, then he can use it as a marathon instead of a race, and just
and that's the
wear you
unfair
out in
part.
endurance.
That's the unfair part about life, is that you get that mental chess game as far as the technique of whatever you're doing after doing it for so long, but you lose the physical ability as you get older. It's just, it takes so long to learn all the, everything that's involved in it. And it's like, man, if you could just pour that in your head, out of the gate, can you imagine what a phenom you would be if you were able to learn everything really, really, really fast.
But let me tell you something. Father Time is undefeated.
Undefeated, absolutely.
And it doesn't matter, because when you get older, you can do all the things that you want to do. We went this morning, me and my wife and my son went to Top Golf. And I hadn't hit a golf ball in years. Used to play a little bit, don't play much anymore. And the furthest pin out there is the white pin. And I hit it, I don't know, 3 or 4 times in a row. Did pretty good.
Nice.
But at the end of the damn day, brother, I was hitting the blue pin. I couldn't even get it out there. And then when I tried to muscle it out there, hell, it was going out to the damn interstate. It was going out that way. And my son said, what's wrong? I said, hell, I'm out of gas.
Yeah.
I don't have it anymore. I mean, I can hit 4 or 5 or 6, man. I can get them far out there if you want to get them. But after that, they just peter out. You just don't have it anymore. And it's not anything other than you're just old.
Yeah. And about that, I find it fascinating when people, going back to football, people talk about, well, they put so much money in their team, they put so much this and that. No, they don't. They just work their team harder.
Yeah, that's it.
Maybe they put more money in the guy that's pushing them than this other school does.
Cochran makes $600,000 a year, which is a lot of money. But if you look at coaches, it's not a lot of money. And he's not paid enough. I'd give that bastard $1 million today.
Is that the strength and conditioning?
Yeah, because he's the man, brother. He don't play. Yeah. He's out there, and he will push you beyond what you think you can do, and that's what you got to do.
Yeah.
And he's the best in the business. And, when Kirby left and went to Georgia, he was going to take him with him. He said, I'll give you $400,000. And Saban said, well, I'll give you $6 if you stay.
That answered that question.
And I'd give the bastard $1 million just to keep people from coming and calling on him.
Right.
Just say, because he's worth it. He's worth every penny of it. That son of a gun. He's high gear. If you watch him on the sideline, that bastard it's like he's on cocaine. He never slows down. He never slows down. Fourth quarter, he's stronger in the fourth quarter than he is in the first quarter. He's hollering, jumping around, and snatching coaches back when they get on the field. He's doing all of it. And he don't mess around. And the players see that,
The motivation part?
Oh, yeah. And, he's something else, buddy. I'm going to tell you. If he has a daughter, and I was a little young kid and went out with his daughter, don't mess it up.
Oh, yeah.
Because he'll beat your ass in the ground, brother. I bet you there's not a player there that could whip his ass if they got out there in a fist fight.
Damn.
I'm telling you, he's much man. Ain't no doubt about it.
I have to pay more attention to him.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was thinking about that, and then I was thinking about the other aspects of it is, a lot of people don't exercise. And I think that when they talk about depression, they talk about, people that have, the craziness aspect of it. As society changes, I don't think people do near as much strenuous things, not even exercise, but just things in general as they used to. It's like, I don't think my son's ever pushed a push mower to mow a yard. I mean, hell, first of all, he doesn't mow that much anyway. When he does it in a riding lawnmower. And people buy riding lawnmowers, and they don't have a yard bigger than anything. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I think that when you don't exert that energy and get that out of you, I think that it messes with your head. And the prime example is that guy that stole the airplane at Seattle this past day or two.
I didn't hear about that.
You didn't hear about
Really?
that?
No.
So line guy, it's fascinating. I'll pull up the thing. The only thing they'll release is his name was Rich or whatever. But he was having some sort of issues, and he worked on the line crew. And I don't think, I have to fact check, but I don't think that he was a mechanic or anything. I think he just worked around the airport. Well, he gets in a twin prop Alaskan Airlines plane that was in maintenance area. He fires that puppy up, man, starts taxiing out at SeaTac, which is one of the largest, most congested international airports we have.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy out
Oh,
there.
yeah.
And
I've flown into it.
Yeah.
You're right.
He took off on this thing. They're losing their mind trying to talk to him, and apparently from looking at the transcripts from the air traffic controller back to him, it seemed like the air traffic controllers did it right, man. They were real cool with him. They were trying to keep him lighthearted. Mm-hmm. So he's in a 65 passenger turbojet, prop driven plane.
But he's the only one on the plane.
He's the only one on the plane.
It was 65 passenger.
It'll hold 65.
I didn't think it was that big.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's good size.
Yeah.
This cat is talking to him, and he's even cutting up with them on the thing. And he makes the comments that, my family will be disappointed in me, but maybe I'm just a little nuts and this and that. And one guy made the comment that, when you're in deep depression, when you get to the point when you say you're done, people think that will be upset or sad, but really you're almost euphoric because you finally come to terms with the fact that it's over. Mm-hmm. This guy is doing barrel rolls in a plane.
Oh, wow.
You're a liar.
That's awesome.
They got it on video. They scrambled 2 F-15 jets out of Portland to chase him because they didn't know what was going on. They didn't know if it was a terrorist attack.
Going to fly it into something.
What was going on? And they're talking to him, and he's cutting up with them. And they got it on video. He does a loop, does a barrel roll once, and then he just does a flip over, pull back loop that the plane is not designed for at all, and almost hits the water. He's just got the yoke pulled back, all he can do,
Son of a gun.
and basically skims the water. And there's some people that comments, oh, there's no way he doesn't have any training and this and that. And one guy commented, he goes, no, you don't understand. A trained pilot is not stupid enough to try.
Yeah.
This guy didn't care if he made it or not.
No.
So he was
It was just going to look good.
Yeah, he was just trying to make the plane do whatever he could make it do. If it had to come apart, it had to come apart. He didn't care.
I bet he was in a better mood after he made that loop.
Oh, I bet he was.
Well, he said that he played video games that had.
Yeah, he was being They don't know if he was being sarcastic. He was almost like, yeah, I stayed at Holiday Inn Express once. He's saying he was basically telling the guy, hey, they were like trying to figure out how he took this plane off, and he's like, yeah, I played a few video games and this and that. I think he was just trying to make light of it.
Yeah.
And now he may have had there is a software that's called Flight Simulator.
Right.
That is extremely accurate, and as a matter of fact, they say that during the 9/11 terrorist attack, a lot of those guys were training on this flight simulator. I got an old version of it, and you play it on your PC. I've got the joysticks that are just like the aviation thing. A good friend of mine who passed away was a pilot, Mark. He's like, dude, you got to try this. He gets the best training ever. And this was way before September 11th. And they only make it better and better. You can fly almost any plane you want to fly, and it makes it really accurate. All the controls, you have to do everything like you would have to do in the airplane. So there is a level of that he might have been telling the truth. But just the fact that I've flown enough, I can tell you that it's easier to get them off the ground than it is to put them back on the ground.
No
In
doubt.
one piece.
In one piece, yeah.
Did he land it?
Yeah, he crashed into. They say no shots fired. NORAD said they didn't fire on him, but he crashed it on a sparsely populated island and crashed and burned.
Did it kill him?
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
It obliterated the plane.
Oh, wow.
And so everybody kind of questions whether the F-15s really, whether they did or didn't shoot him down. It was just coincidence that he crashed on because they basically corralled him a different way, just to get him away from
general population.
And he went down. But the official story is they didn't shoot him down, which, they would never do that.
Well, if he couldn't land it, they'd have to shoot him down.
Right. But he wanted to die anyway.
Yeah.
But it goes back. It kind of goes full circle back to my thing. It's like I don't think people do enough of what they used to do. I think that's why we get a lot more depression now than we used to have, or know about anyway. Maybe just even discuss. Is people don't do what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
You know
Well, I mean, I'll tell you just on that note, I think I've mentioned that I started going back to the gym last week, and I remember up to that point, I remember getting home from work and just saying, damn, I'm just absolutely spent. I'm exhausted. And I said, I don't know how people can get up and go to the gym. But the more I go, oddly enough, the more energy I have, later in the day. So it's weird how it works out that I don't know if it's a psychological game or what.
And
but
a lot of times I see people younger than they think they are going, I'm getting old, I can't do that kind of stuff. And I think they confuse it with being out of shape because they're not keeping themselves
Right, when you
up.
got a guy that's 28 to 30 years old and he's like, oh man, I'm just old, I'm old.
Yeah, no,
Dude, you're not old.
Yeah.
You're
I got
30
socks older than him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're 30 years old, man. You need to get out and do something. And I don't think everybody should be professional athletes. Don't misconstrue what I'm saying.
But push yourself a
yeah,
little
do
bit.
something.
Yeah.
I mean, and you don't have to grapple. You don't have to box. You don't have to lift weights, man. Just do something.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whether it's STEM. You know, everybody has an interest. Whether it's rock climbing, whether it's walking, whether it's running, whether it's
Wall building.
wall building, whatever. You know, whatever it is.
Oh,
but I
yeah.
tell you what, hey, that's why they call it farmer strength. You know. Yeah, those guys, you got the guy that's 50 years old and he's worked land and worked this and that, and you go to reach and grab his hand and you're like, Jesus Christ, man.
He pulls stumps up out of the damn ground. That's
Yeah.
why it's so strong.
Yeah,
Old
and
bricklayers.
You
Yeah.
shake his hand and you're thinking, geez, man, this guy.
But you know, you talk about crazy, people being crazy. And I believe if you, I did this when I was a little kid. I was in the 5th grade. We had this guy in class, and I did something that made him mad. I think I popped off to him or something. And he had failed 2 or 3 times. He's like 21 years old, and he's in the 5th grade. And he told me, after school, I'm going to whip your ass, you know. And my buddy's sitting there with me. He says, man, he's a big old boy. You know, he said, he's probably going to kill you. I said, yeah, he's a good chance because he's big, you know. I said, I got to make that son of a bitch think I'm crazy. If he thinks I'm crazy, he won't mess with me. So I go up to the front of the class. The teacher's outside, and I'm using the old pencil sharpener. And you know the old metal trash cans you used to have?
Yeah.
In it? Well, he, and I didn't intend for it to go this far, but he had said something, yeah, I'm going to get you after school. I reached down and picked that garbage can up and just hit myself in the head with it, you know, to put a big dent in it. Well, I hit it right on the seam where it's put together, so it come apart, and it cut me across the forehead. So I'm bleeding, and I just went like that, I said, I can't wait. I can't wait, you know. And everybody's going, oh, my God, he's an idiot, you know. And then after the class, he said, look, man, I'm just kidding. We're good. And I'm glad because he'd have destroyed my ass if we'd have got in a fight. But I did. I made him think I was crazy, and he
It's all
thought,
about
I ain't messing with him. That's somebody trying to pull your lungs out. You don't know what he'll do.
21 years old in 5th grade.
Yeah.
You don't want to fight that guy.
But no, that was what I was thinking about. You know, Tim and I had a phone conversation the other day, and then I was thinking about this guy from Seattle. All that stuff kind of tied together, especially taking an ass beating for 2 to 4 hours this whole weekend, 2 on Friday, 2 on Saturday.
But you know, because you did a little MMA. I know Dave has done a little bit of that. And when I was younger, I got into boxing a little bit. And here's what gets me. I'm a big football fan, and I'm watching NFL preseason game the other day. And the way they used to teach you to tackle is put your face mask in their chest, take them down. It's a perfect form tackle. That's how everybody was taught. Mm-hmm. Well, one guy makes a beautiful tackle. And you want your kids to see it going, that's how you do it. That's how you do it. Well, as he hits his chest, you know, he goes for his chest, face mask in the chest. The top of his helmet hits the guy's face mask just a little bit because it's contact.
Yeah.
And they flagged him for it because they called him for, like, targeting. He went for the head. He didn't go for the head. He hit the face mask a little bit. And they're so concerned about concussions and everything in football because football is the biggest moneymaker sport in the country. There's no doubt about it. But you don't hear them saying, we're concerned about this boxer that's getting his ass whipped and he got both eyes shut and he's bleeding like a pig. Mm-hmm. We don't give a damn about him. Or these MMA guys that just lay on top of people and beat their head into the damn canvas. Mm-hmm. You don't hear that.
Right.
They don't give a damn about that.
Well, I think in essence, not to cut Dave off, but in essence, that's why boxing had a really nice, or I say nice, really negative slide off, you know, for a while. But not to mention the corruption that goes on in it and stuff like that, and just
it's dirty. It's very dirty.
But they did have problems, you know, because you know you get knocked down and they stand you up. Well, dude, your bell's rung and you continue on. And I think that MMA got a really bad rap in the early 90s when it first started out because there was a lot of blood and they let them continue to fight. But a lot of people didn't realize blood wasn't an issue. You know, they weren't hurting each other near as bad because they weren't getting their bell rung, they're getting cut or doing whatever, but they weren't just getting their head smashed
Yep.
and continued on. Especially the new rules now. You know, if a ref comes in and stops you, they stop you, and that's it. Okay, you don't hear. There's only, to my knowledge, there's only 1 or 2 incidents of somebody dying because of an MMA bout, and one guy died. I think it was here recently, within the last year and a half. I think it was within the last year. And the reason why he had an issue was he was also a boxer. And it turns out he got knocked out in a boxing match like 2 weeks before his MMA event that he did.
Yeah.
Well, he did his MMA thing, and first of all, he shouldn't have been in the ring because he really mentally wasn't.
Probably had a concussion. Wasn't over it. Yeah.
So when he had a really poor showing on his MMA event, and he ended up dying in the hospital later. Like, he left the fight fine, you know, but he took another beating because he wasn't prepared for a fight, you know.
Yeah.
So, but generalized, you know, in MMA is you go down and dude gets on you, wears you out, or if he knocks you down and you go out, that's it. There's no standing 8 count. There's no reset. You're done. And in a lot of the athletic associations, if you get knocked out, if you get a knockout or TKO, you are not allowed to fight for X amount of time.
Yeah.
In the discussion, you have to, and all that stuff, and pretty much a lot of the different states adhere to the same rules. So you can't say, well, okay, well, Alabama's not going to let me fight, so I'm going to go fight in Georgia. You know, they all communicate. You know, it's the power of communication nowadays. So that's why, in a lot of sense, MMA is an extremely safe sport, even though it looks very vicious.
Yeah.
Well, and I think one of the big differences is between that and football is in MMA, you're not going head-to-head contact like you are in football.
Right.
So I think that's a big difference.
Unless
Collisions
Yeah.
stronger.
Yeah.
Unless you catch that instep of that foot across the face, that's
that's
like a baseball bat. But it's not repetitive. In football, if I'm a middle linebacker, you know, and
or just like if you're an offensive and a defensive lineman,
just hitting.
That's every play.
Every play. And you're doing that for what, 4 hours, maybe 3 hours? How long's the average?
Yeah, I mean, you wear anybody down.
Yeah. Jesus Christ, like, you might as well go over there. And some of them boys, that's like me running out here and running into this damn brick wall over and over. When you got a defensive lineman or an offensive lineman that's, you know, 280, you know, solid, and his pads, and he's cleated into the ground.
Oh yeah.
I'm a modest 205. I might as well just run into the truck.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I just got one question.
All right.
Did Dave and Tim show up about the same time today?
They did. Actually, they showed up.
I got here first.
See, on the reason why I ask is because I remember one of the times that you were over here, how you commented on Dave's shirt, how you really liked his snake handler shirt. I couldn't help but notice you were wearing that shirt today. And I wasn't sure if you guys got in a hurry, going out the door and swap shirts by accident.
Actually, I had the shirt first.
I mean, at least you got it.
I didn't wear it here first, but I had it.
So I think what Joe is asking,
did he get dressed in my house?
That's what I'm asking. I mean,
that was the first thing I said when I saw him.
when y'all got ready this morning together. Yeah.
Well, I intended on changing.
Who was brushing their teeth while the other one asked what the other one was wearing?
Yeah.
I was actually in the shower while Tim was brushing his teeth getting ready.
Yeah.
No, I commented on that.
I had wore this shirt to play golf. I was going to wear a golf shirt, but I thought it's hot. You know, it's really hot. So I put this on, and I intended to change it, but we got back like at 11, and it is a comfortable shirt. But we got back.
You're not going to be wearing it next, are you?
Yeah, it's his turn next.
He gets dressed in my house, he will.
And see, you'll never get to wear it because you're always fucking late.
Yeah, I know.
So
that's
you can only wear this shirt for your own time.
Right. That's Dave's trophy shirt. You know, when he gets done, he gets here. Put that on for me.
After I conquer
But I do appreciate you not bitching about my park job out there because this one here
Did you not notice it?
I noticed the park job. I was wondering if that's why I couldn't find Chris's truck, if it was in the shop after it got hit or something.
No, my brother left.
This guy, Jesus Christ.
That's pretty good though. I do like that shirt. I may end up with one next weekend.
Yeah.
I may wear that to the event. I don't know.
I love the shirt, but you better have a cosigner when you go buy it because they're mighty proud of it.
Oh,
they're like $25.
Just like this one. Yeah.
holy smokes.
Expensive shirt.
That is.
I need to go up on my damn T-shirts at the show then. I'm way underpriced.
Advertising for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's amazing, man. People, you offer somebody a good deal on a nice shirt for $10, they won't buy it, and you tell them it's $25 and they buy it.
Yeah, I bought three of them when they said that.
I don't.
I'm gonna tell you, it happens.
I can't. Whatever. But I can't figure out the logic, and
Well, I told you this story. I was years ago. I had a T-shirt, and on the front it said, "What's wrong with kids today?" On the back it said, "Not enough ass whoopings," and that's factual. So it had 5 colors, good-looking shirt, and I worked with a buddy of mine, Michael Reed. He had print on one side of his shirt. It was a black and white shirt, white T-shirt, black print. And it said, "Get the hell out of my yard," because he did this bit about a yard sale. He sold his shirt for $20, and it wasn't even as a high quality shirt like mine was. Plus, mine looked better, and I sell him mine for $15. He said, "You're making a big mistake by selling that shirt for $15. You need to raise the damn price." I said, "I just don't feel like it's worth $20." He said, "I tell you what, how many shirts did you sell last show?" I said, 6 shirts. He said, "Next show, sell it for $20, and whatever you don't sell up to 6, I'll buy the damn things for $20." So I set it up, and we sold the next show for $20, and I sold 11 shirts. I never come back down.
I think people may attribute quality to the price. So, and even though it's the exact same product, I think
Yeah, well, it used to, you get what you pay for, so if you paid more, you got something quality. Well, now everything's made in China, so you're going to get the same quality no matter what you pay for it. They're just going to get a higher profit.
I didn't mean to get Joe on that tangent. I know he has very strong opinions.
I don't know if you know. But I think it's a fair assessment. But Joe and I have made that conversation. We've had some other conversations about some practices that some people, and I won't go on to it because it'll hurt their feelings, but there's some guys that offered product and service, and their friends told them the same thing that Tim told them. Say, hey, you're offering it too cheap. These guys, people think if you're offering it that cheap, it's not worth buying. And so they did the test, and they upped the price, and sure enough, their sales went up. And and it's like, it's the most fascinating thing to watch, especially when you can watch it with people that like you truly, it's not just somebody talking about it. You actually see it happen.
Yeah.
It's like.
Well, he had told me, he said, "Tim, they're going to hand you a $20 bill, and they're going to hand me a $20 bill, and they really don't give a damn if you give them 5 back or not."
And that made sense, too.
It does, because you're getting the same currency handed to you. If I hand you $1 or $5 back, it really doesn't matter. He says, if you think that shirt's worth $15, it's worth $15. If you think it's worth $20, it's worth $20. And so I did. I elevated the price, and I started selling more.
Yeah, that's crazy. Now, you still want to offer them a good product, but it's just funny that I guess the true thing to say is don't try to do anybody a favor. It's like, well, I'm going to give them great quality, and I'm going to give them a good price at it. As long as you give them a good quality, you charge them what it's really worth, and they're going to pay for it.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like the conversation I had with my brother, and we've had it multiple times. These artists that go around town, art is so subjective. I mean, some of these guys, they put a pretty outrageous price on some of their artwork.
Absolutely.
And where does that price come from? I mean, how do they get to that conclusion that this is worth $10,000 for a painting?
Because they've been out of work for 2 months. They need $10,000 to recover.
Right, but
maybe that's true.
It might be true.
It might be true. I mean, think about it. If you're a guy that, if you think your art's good, or people tell you your art's good, and you're only selling 3 a year, well, I need X amount to live off of.
But there's so many people think they're damn artists too.
Yeah.
I mean, I know this girl, I'm not going to mention her name, she thinks just because you damn hot glue a goddamn button on a trash can, that's art. That ain't art. You know what I mean?
Well, to some people it is.
Hey, a fair thing to. I'm glad you mentioned that, though, because you see these stores pop off all the time where people have come up with, stuff like that. They're just basically gluing shit together. And, and they sell it to these little country wives, that, and I say country wives because it's kind of more of a countryist theme kind of thing, and they'll put that shit in their houses. And you look at it and you're like, why do you even put that in there? It looks terrible. But people eat it up.
Oh, they do. You take a mailbox, paint a damn flower on it, sell it to some bitch for a bread box, and now he's got it on his damn counter.
Right. And he paid 3 times.
Yeah, and he could go buy a damn mailbox.
Yeah. It's crazy. And And it's like the shirt. I hate these shirts, and I'll probably get some hate mail on this one, but they'll take a bright colored shirt, whether it's pink or yellow or mauve or whatever, and they'll just put a big A on it and sell it. Well, what the fuck's that mean? I just look at it. They just
I don't know.
It means Alabama.
That's kind of why I want mine.
Is that okay?
Unless it's a pink shirt.
Yeah, but even still, I just use A as an example.
Yeah.
But it's just they'll just put some, and they sell it in these little boutiques and stuff like that, and people eat that shit up. And I just get pissed off because I didn't come up with it first. I'll just be fair with you.
That's why I want my own house with my own shop behind there with a welding machine. I was back when I was a welder fitter. There was this big 55-gallon drum with all these slot plugs that had been punched out of the metal, and so I just started tack welding it together, and I kind of made an alligator, and hammered out this welding rod, made feet and everything, and I think I made two of them, one for me and one for the guy that I was working with. Well, the next day he comes by, he's like, "Hey man, can you make me another one of those alligators?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, I guess." He's like, "Yeah, I sold that yesterday for $20." I was like, "Are you fucking shitting me? It's some scrap metal that I just fucking tack welded together."
Yeah.
But people love that shit, man.
Yeah.
Shit like that would sell at Pier 1.
Oh, you ain't kidding.
It is. Well, I guess it's because people, if it's something that they don't feel like they can do,
Yeah.
it's worth something to them.
No doubt.
Yep. And but to somebody that can do it, then you're looking at it as, I can't believe some fucking idiot paid that much for that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, you're right.